On the 21st of March 1945, Operation Carthage went into effect, the mission being an air raid on the Gestapo headquarters in the city centre of Copenhagen in Denmark. The raid had been requested by the Danish resistance for a twofold purpose. One, to free imprisoned members of the resistance, and two, to destroy the Gestapo records stored there. The rooftop-level attack did not go according to plan though, and despite some bombers hitting their target, one of the planes in the first wave was flying so low that it clipped a lamppost and crashed into a school. This meant that several bombers in the second and third waves, seeing the smoke and flames, bombed the school, mistaking it for their target. 125 civilians, among them 86 children from the school, were killed in the ensuing carnage. It was a tragic and awful example of the confusion and chaos of war. And the 2021 film called The Bombardment aims to tell this story. And it tells that story from the point of view of those that were on the ground. Here's the description. The fates of several Copenhagen residents collide when a World War II bombing mission accidentally targets a school full of children. I thought this movie was excellent, and this was for a couple of main reasons. Firstly was a technical thing. One of my gripes about modern movies that feature vintage aircraft often resort to CGI to create the aerial work, and for some reason it never looks real and the plane's movements ignore physics. But this movie, this is one of the best examples of aerial work that I've seen on screen. The fighter bombers used in the raid and shown on screen in the movie are de Havilland Mosquitoes, and there's only a tiny handful that are airworthy around the world today. So, necessarily, there is CGI in this. But it's so well done that I honestly had trouble telling what was CGI, what was clever model work, and what was real. As a plane nerd, it was a breath of fresh air to see these aircraft moving naturally and realistically on screen. When you looked out the window in the cockpit interior shots, it sure seemed to me like it was the real thing out there and not a green screen. I don't know how they did it, but they did it very, very well. This, of course, adds to the realism, and the combat scenes and the attack on the city had us on the edge of our seats. And that leads me to the second item that I loved. The story is told from the point of view of those on the ground. The families, the children, the nuns, and the prisoners. We meet key characters from each of these groups early on, and as the movie progresses, they're all drawn together into one ultimate, shocking, and gut-wrenching conclusion. The filmmakers masterfully manage the story and don't hold back from showing you just how bad it was for these people on the ground, both the victims and the survivors. The Bombardment, which is also known by its Danish title The Shadow in My Eye, is an emotional drama with depressing moments, and there's many scenes that involve violence and injustice. So it isn't a movie for the faint of heart. But it remains an important story and an unapologetic portrayal of the brutality of war, and I highly recommend it.